Understanding the role of syllables is incredibly useful in both learning to decode or read and encode, spell, and yet it's a part of language that may be sidelined in literacy programs. Don't underestimate the value of syllable knowledge. These humble word parts play quite a role in the structure of the English language. Many of us may remember clapping and counting syllables as children, but not many of us understood the connection between syllables and the structure of our language. Like, yes, potato has 3 syllables. So what? From a learning to spell perspective, an understanding of syllables is critical. Many of the conventions of spelling are determined by them. Knowing about these conventions is a game changer. With knowledge, we're able to make sense of the English language and it no longer seems random or absurd. Let's start with a clear picture of what syllables are. Think of them as building blocks. Each one is a chunk of sound. The chunks can be put together to make words. All words have at least one syllable or one chunk of sound. They can be different sizes, but don't let that confuse or worry you, because they all have one major thing in common. Each syllable has a vowel sound in it. The number of vowel sounds you hear in a word determines the number of syllables. In the word shout, there is just one syllable, because though there are 2 vowel letters in there, they represent just one vowel sound. And in the word piano, there are 3 syllables because we hear 3 separate vowel sounds. P, A, no. It's important to remember that syllables are organised around vowel sounds. Don't get hung up on the letters. When we think about syllables as being chunks of sound, it becomes obvious why they are so important. Faced with a word that seems overwhelming to read or to spell, a learner can break it down or chunk it to make it more manageable. As well as needing syllables to be able to chunk words, we also need to understand their place in the structure of the English language. Though we don't always know it as native speakers of English, many of the conventions of the English language are linked with syllables. And here's some great news. There are just 6 syllable types to make sense of. The first and most common group are the closed syllables. Closed syllables have short vowel sounds. They end or close with a consonant sound, and they often use 2 or more consonant letters to protect the short vowel sound. Here are some examples: bat, hedge, stick, rabbit. Notice how the vowel sound is followed by a consonant to close the syllable. In bat, for example, here is the vowel sound a, and here is the consonant t, closing off the syllable. In hedge and stick, both still 1-syllable words, we can see that more than one consonant is used to close the syllable. Here is the vowel sound I in stick, and here are the consonants CK spelling the K sound. This is a spelling convention worth knowing. The extra letters work together to make one consonant sound. Rabbit, a 2-syllable word, has 2 closed syllables, rab, bit, and in each we can see the vowel sound followed by a consonant sound to close the syllable. The next syllable type is the vowel plus consonant plus E syllable. We often refer to these as the magic E syllables. They are very common, and every long vowel sound can be spelled using this pattern, though spelling long E this way is not usual. Here are some examples: cake, rice, cube, bone. Notice the vowel followed by a consonant and finish with that silent or magic E. The next group is the open syllables. Open syllables are quite helpfully just the opposite of closed syllables. They end with a long vowel sound, or they may contain a long vowel sound alone, in a syllable. When you hear a long vowel sound at the end of a syllable, you can draw upon another spelling convention. We spell it with a single vowel letter. Here are some examples. Paper, tiger, open, radio. Notice that long vowel sound at the end of the syllable. Paper has two syllables, pay, pa. Hear the long A at the end of the first, pay, pa, and see how it is spelled with just one letter. The word open is an example of how a long vowel sound can be a syllable all by itself. Listen, O, pin. That long O sound is spelled with just the letter O. And in radio, we hear three vowel sounds, so there are three syllables, ray, d, o. Each of these is an open syllable. We can hear the long vowel sound at the end of each syllable, and we spell it with just the single letter. Next are the vowel team syllables. A vowel team uses two or more letters next to each other to represent a vowel sound. Many vowel teams also use consonant letters. Here are some examples. Cloud, lawn, spray, night. Notice the teams of letters working together to spell the vowel sound. In the word cloud, we see the letter O and U working as a team to spell the ow sound. The or in lawn is an example of a time where a consonant letter is used to spell a vowel sound. The sound is or. In spray, we see the letters AY working as a team to spell the long A vowel sound. And in night, we see the letters IGH working together to spell the long vowel sound I. Next group of syllables are the vowel plus R syllables. Sometimes these are referred to as R-controlled syllables. A vowel R syllable will have a vowel followed by the letter R. Some examples of vowel R syllables in words are dirt, shark, surprise, reform. And the final group of syllables are the consonant plus LE syllables. These syllables are found only on the end of words and will have a consonant followed by the letters LE. These syllables are ruled by spelling conventions too. If a CLE syllable follows an open syllable, we don't use a double consonant. But if it follows a closed syllable, a double consonant is used. Here are some examples. Table, rifle, giggle, battle. Notice in table and rifle, the first syllable of the word is an open one. We hear that long vowel sound. Table. Because that first syllable is open, we don't double the B. Rifle. Because the first syllable is open, we don't double the F. In giggle, the first syllable is closed. Gig, gull. So we do double the G. The same is true in battle. The first syllable is closed. Bat-till. So we see the double T spelling. This basic overview of the syllable types is a great place to start when making sense of how words are structured. Remember, a really key thing when dealing with syllables is to be aware of the sounds. Let's go back now to the example from the beginning. If we apply what we know about the syllable types, we're able to make sense of this word and know that there is only one spelling choice for each of the parts. The first syllable, pot, is a closed syllable. We know it will have a short vowel sound, so must be spelled phonetically, p-ot. The second syllable could be trickier. We hear the long A sound, and there are many ways to spell that. But wait, this is a long vowel sound and a syllable all by itself. It must be spelled with just the vowel letter. And the last syllable is also an open syllable. I hear the long O sound at the end, toe, so I know to spell it with just the letter O. Use this overview of the syllable types to make sense of the words around you. Are you able to recognise the different syllable types in words you read? Can you start to be aware of how you spell words using the syllables? Have fun discovering more about this important piece of the English language.